Oh well, I'm not sure of what should I do. Plus, it is now at 1 a.m. And the sewer sound thingy has not yet arrived until at 3 a.m., maybe. I will yell out Molly the football head as my own sewer yelling sound thingy. Wait! I will yell out Molly the football head term as my own sewer yelling sound thingy. That gave me a good plan. I'm going to yell out Molly the football head term as my own sewer yelling sound thingy. That will teaching people a lesson from making Molly Peterson a non-troublemakers on the season of IKHWAN's Ramadan special series. Ha 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 ha. Anyways, I will yelling Molly the football head is my own sewer yelling sound in 3, 2, 1. And now, go! Molly the football head, 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 Molly the football head. Molly the football head, 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 Molly the football head. Molly the football head, 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 Molly the football.
Why do I got waked up way too early at 1 a.m. Sir is starting at 3 a.m. Not at 1 a.m. Plus, why does everyone troublemakers have to calling Molly Peterson a football head all because of Molly betrayed her troublemaking gang, which the name was now the Ogami gang. Who could making me wake up so early at 1 a.m. by yelling that useless term on Molly as the troublemakers is her yelling sound thingy, when the Sir started at 3 a.m. Not at 1 a.m. Well, I'm better check it out who's the one who makes me wakes up so early at 1 a.m. when the Sir time started at 3 a.m. Not at 1 a.m.
Molly the football head, 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 Molly the
Regina, did you hear that? Someone just make us wake up way too early by yelling calling Mrs. Molly a useless object head term as someone saw her yelling at 1 a.m.
I know, right, Lord Chuddery? Besides, sewer time begins at 3 a.m., not at 1 a.m. And 1 a.m. We're still sleeping and waiting for the sewer time begins at 3 a.m. Even though you're Hindu in real life. Let's go, Lord Chuddery. We will find out that who's the troublemakers who are responsible for this, for making us wake up way too early, and it is not the sewer time yet.
Not another troublemakers calling me that useless term again, all because of I'm leaving my troublemaking gang for my own good. First Carla call me that useless term, then Althea Andrea. And now another troublemakers who's calling me a worthless object head term? And everyone was waked up way too early when it is not sewer time yet. That's it. I had enough. I will find out that who's another troublemakers who spam calling me a useless object head term, and this time is on 1 a.m. as some troublemakers is sewer yelling and makes everyone else was wake up way too early when it is not sewer time yet.
Molly the football head, 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 Molly
the football head, Molly the football head, Oh no! I am so bested right this instant.
Oh my flying lord. Marina freaking Ogami. How could you yell out the worthless and ridiculous object head term on me as you're still yelling at 1 a.m.? You'll know that the object head term is getting out of hand, and it was useless nowadays.
Besides, sir is started at 3 a.m., not at 1 a.m., idiot.
First, Karma was calling me the useless object head term on her and happy goodbyes message to people who are planning to wish Sarah a happy birthday again on her 16th birthday in June 14th this year. Then Althea Andrea calling me the useless term after Althea interrupted me and my friends' Ramadan breakfasting last time. And now you're yelling out the useless object head term at me as you're still yelling at 1 a.m. Marina? Wow. But next Victoria Peterson, you're a Marina. I'm calling Lexia and Kofi about this. Go home right now. You're the next Victoria Peterson.
No.
346 menit kemudian.
Seriously right now, Marina? How dare you wake up everyone at 1 a.m. when on 1 a.m. is not the sewer time yet, by yell out the useless term on Molly Peterson as your sewer yelling.
And besides, the sewer time begins at 3 a.m., not at 1 a.m. And for this, you're grounded until the next sewer time. Go to your room right now and think about waking up everyone else at 1 a.m. by using the useless object head term on Molly Peterson.